You are good to go. We are recording.
Okay, it is 6:30. This is the City of Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee meeting. It is March 2nd, 2021. And notice is hereby, well, I'm going to say it again. Notice is hereby given that a meeting of the Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee will be held on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. by telephonic video conferencing for the purpose of conducting the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action in an effort to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings, also called social distancing, to slow the spread of the COVID virus. There will be no in-person public access to the meeting. The public may participate in this meeting by using the link which is on the agenda and can be seen on the website. Meeting ID, I won't. The meeting ID is also on the website. I don't need to say all that.
No.
The public will be permitted to offer public comments telephonically or by audio as provided by the agenda and permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting. Written questions or comments may be submitted to the chairperson up to 2 hours before the meeting by emailing trapino@thecityofsandyoaks.com. I've received no questions that I have seen. So I will call the meeting to order and take the roll. If I can see the, and what happened to my screen?
I don't know. Where did you go?
I don't know. It disappeared.
Are you not still seeing the agenda?
We're seeing the
Nope,
agenda, Mickey, but when you put that up like that, it takes the participant window away.
Actually, it took the whole thing away from me.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. All right. I got
Would you
that,
like me to do the roll call, sir?
Yeah, if you would, because I can't see anything.
Okay, this is Charles and I'm present. Ann Garza,
I am here.
Tom Rapino,
Here?
Ray Lynn,
I'm here.
Ruth.
Here.
Who else we got here? Ashley Del Real
Here.
and Mayor Ball is present.
So we have a quorum. So there are no citizens to be heard on. That's agenda item number 2. So I move on to agenda item number 3, discuss and possible action to select a date to plot the location of the sunshade and the bench. Do we want to set a date to do that? Maybe on a Saturday morning or actually any morning for me. I'd like to put it off until I get water, but
My social calendar is wide open.
Mine is too, almost.
I'd like to be there to help out, but I also would like to meet the plumber tomorrow, maybe by Saturday. Is Saturday okay for anybody that wants to do that?
Yeah, Saturday works.
Saturday.
Yep.
Good with
Saturday
me.
is good. And me. What time?
10 okay, or is that too early?
10? That's fine.
Yeah, 10
That's
a.m.
awesome.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so we'll meet down there at 10 a.m. Is there any, do we need tape measures or,
Yeah, I'll bring a tape measure.
Okay. So, and probably a notebook too. I'll bring a notebook. So, and we'll set that up and we'll mark it and, did they order the sunshade yet? Do we know?
I don't believe
meant-
so, sir. I was out of town most of last week. I have not got
I
down
meant
there
to
with,
check on that and I forgot. I'm sorry.
I haven't got with Catherine.
Um,
Let me go ahead and explain to everybody that some of you know, some of you may not. My wife passed away the last week of January, and I have been really going through some hectic times with that. So I have not got with Catherine on that yet. I will do that this week.
Okay.
okey-dokey. And I know we have the bench, so that's one thing that we have. So but we don't need that to set the location. We just need to figure out where we want to put it and how we want to set it up.
And we
We
have,
can always
we have the
adjust.
specs on it, so that'll be,
Right, yeah.
if
it'll be
somebody can
easy.
bring those so that we have them, that would be helpful.
I'll print them and bring them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a tall tape measure? A sturdy tape measure that will measure up and down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, only because of the height issue and placement. Just want to make sure we include that.
Okay.
Right. All righty. So any more discussion on that? If there isn't, I will move on to agenda item number 4. Discuss and possible action on the council's approval to add Mrs. Ashley Del Real to the Parks Advisory Committee. And congratulations, Ashley, you are part of the Parks Advisory Committee now. So
Thank
do
you.
you have
Welcome,
anything?
welcome.
Yes, welcome. Do you have anything that you would like to say right now?
Just want to see what we can do to get this park going and in better condition.
Okay, great.
That's
Well,
good.
you'll have an opportunity later on in the meeting to discuss some of the things you've done and some of the things you want to do on one of the later agenda items.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
Okay, so I'll move on. If there's no further comments, I'll move on to agenda item number 5, discuss and possible action on the effects of the winter storm, the winter storm may have had on the butterfly site. And I've since talked to Charles and there wasn't anything planted. I think you did say that you had a couple things on your deck, Charles.
Yeah,
that may-
I lost all my seedlings that I had started back in December. I have a covered porch that I normally start my plants in, and it's always worked up till now, but that 9 degrees wilted everything in there. So I'm replanting seeds, but they're not going to be, ready right away. In the meanwhile, I think we should talk to a couple of the nurseries about, native plants that will be good for monarchs and other butterflies. I'll take that on, and at our next meeting, we can have a discussion of the plants they recommend and the prices, and maybe we'll have a buy-in party to get the plants that we need to put in out there. We had some people volunteer other plants, but I have not talked to them about, did their plants make it through the freeze?
I know that
So-
Mary
I know I
Alamon had some, and she lost all of hers, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
was
lost
going to
all of
provide some
mine.
plants.
My
Yeah, I
heater
think-
went off in my little storage area and killed all my plants. So
I think everybody's going to start new this year.
So Charles, quick question. I know that the council had approved a match on the funds.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
Has any of that been spent or is it earmarked for something specific?
No, ma'am. Well, uh, none of the money has been spent. We have $800 earmarked for the butterfly garden.
Right?
I would, I haven't checked prices lately, but I, I I think it was about $150 in landscape timbers to lay out some beds. And then I think it would be a good idea to buy a yard of compost. That's around about $25 a yard. And then we just determine, which day we want to have a planting party. Buy the plants accordingly.
I see that Rue has her hand up.
Yes,
With the storm, I'm pretty sure whatever population of monarchs it got impacted pretty well. So I think we should probably get on this as soon as possible. And I had
Okay.
also sent something to Tom. I found out about this service called Chip Drop, where it's a free service and they drop a bottom loader of chips for free. And it's like
Oh,
a big amount, like for mulch or for raised garden. So I think that's something we could look into.
Oh,
That
I
would be
didn't
great.
see it, Rue. Could you send it to me again?
Yeah, I'll send a link to everyone. It's called Free Wood Drop. No, Free Chip Drop. And they
Okay.
give you a whole load of just wood chips, and there might be some organic matter in there as well.
Okay.
and what's it called, Rue?
I think it's called, hold on, let me find it real quick.
Free wood
Yeah,
chips from Chip Drop.
Yes.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
I had a friend who
No,
had ordered it and she said she got it
Now it's
in
working.
less than a week and it was a huge amount.
Okay. So,
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Their only request is for you to have a location to be okay to drop that much amount into.
We can drop it right outside the maintenance yard and use the tractor to spread it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rue, would you like to, and I'm sorry, Tom, I should probably let you do that, but I was going to suggest Rue go ahead and sign up and kind of lead that charge since it was her idea, but I think it's great.
Yeah, I can do that. I
Yeah.
already have it set up. I
That's-
just wasn't sure. I wanted it for my house, but it's like, no, they'll just leave it there. So I was like, no, but you know what? It might be a good idea for the park.
Yeah, it would be. And one thing that I had been considering, well, we'll talk about it after the meeting because it's not on the agenda. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so.
The monarchs, Rue, the migrating monarchs are still in Mexico. They are just starting their migration now.
I know,
Uh,
but they don't have anything to eat when they get here.
Exactly.
Yeah, the resident monarchs are probably gone, but
Yeah,
the migration's due to come in late this month.
I think I
I
heard
read it-
also that the hummingbirds are suffering as well.
Yeah,
yeah. I read an article where there may be not any food for them when they,
Right.
when they do show up.
So everybody needs to put
Oh.
out their hummingbird feeders.
Exactly.
Well, not just them, but a lot of the pollinators too, and I guess monarchs are
bees.
pollinators also.
Right.
Yeah, bees and.
so
Well,
I have bees. I have
hopefully-
bees and wasps bumming around my hummingbird feeders anyway.
I do too. Well, I don't right now, but I did last year, and I don't want to kill the bees. I don't know how the hummingbirds are going to eat if the bees are all over it.
Feed the
they-
bees, kill the wasp.
But the hummingbirds can't get into the feeder because the wasps are all over the little thing. I mean, not the wasp, the
The bees.
bees. are
Yeah.
all- Yeah.
You know, hummingbirds are banned from Hawaii because they're so vicious.
Really?
What?
Yeah, they kill other birds. No, I'm serious. They will not let hummingbirds in. They're banned from bringing hummingbirds into Hawaii.
Well,
Wow.
isn't that interesting?
In
Who
such
knew?
a
Because they,
lush area too. That's surprising.
Yeah.
I was surprised myself. So, but anyhow, so any more discussion on
Number
agenda
five.
item 5? If not, I'll move on to the agenda item 6, discuss and possible action on the status of the erection of the flagpoles. I don't think they're in yet completely.
They are in. They are in.
They did come in?
They did come in. Yes.
Last I
Awesome.
checked, they weren't in. Okay, great. So then we need to, the parking lot's finished at the new city hall.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So do we have a
Awesome.
site where we want, that we want to set the flagpoles up? And
Can we maybe
And we
do
have a-
that on Saturday as well? Make a trip?
Yeah, I guess we
Because
could.
that way, I mean, I know that Charles has been to the new building. I don't know, Tom, if you've been up there since we've got a lot of stuff going, and certainly everyone else on the call would be welcome to come up there and just kind of see what's going on.
I
Cool.
haven't been
can-
up there since
we're
the
glad.
parking lot has been done, but I've been up there since they
Yeah.
were doing stuff, but not since that.
But we can go up there and
has
figure out
been
where to
done,
put the flagpole as well.
Right, and we have to buy the, I guess, do we have PVC pipe that we want to put inside, or we'll have to buy that? That's easy enough to
What
get.
size PVC pipe do we need, Tom?
I think 2 inches what I got before, but
I think I have some 2-inch pipe. Let me check and make
we
sure.
try it anyhow. It may be 1.5, but I think it's 2 inch.
Okay, we'll take a look
Yeah.
at that Saturday
Yeah,
and I'll check what I have in stock here.
And Charles,
Okay.
I had to kind of chuckle when we were talking about PVC pipe because when we went to have the ramp built, we suffered through a shortage of lumber. And
Yeah.
now we want to put the flagpole up when PVC pipe is at a premium.
Of course.
Yeah, really.
I can use some pipe. Never mind.
Yes, you could. Just for
Okay,
those
so
that-
we'll
for
go up.
those- Wait, for those here on the call who don't know, Mr. Rapino still does not have water at his house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man,
That
So if you
sucks.
see flies circling over my house, you know why.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay,
Uh.
so if there's no further discussion, we'll figure out where to put the flagpoles on Saturday also.
Okay.
And so I'll move on to agenda item number 7. Discuss and possible action on the status of the water trailer construction. I guess it's hasn't moved, Charles, since you've been out of the way, unless
no, that hasn't moved. I have a bill of material. I'm gonna take to Catherine and see if we can get that picked up. And
okay.
we can get started on that.
Get with Priscilla. And
Okay.
she can typically place the order online, like through Home Depot, and
Yep.
then she can go pick it up.
Okay.
She got new lettering on her truck. She thinks she's pretty spiffy now. Can't miss her.
Okay. So if there's no further action on that or discussion, we'll move on to agenda item 8, discuss and possible action on Mr. and Mrs. Del Real's ideas about rejuvenation of the baseball field and possible formation of intramural youth leagues within the city and surrounding area. So Ashley, do you want to discuss, what, or sort of reminisce what you and I, your husband and Charles discussed that day in sort of chilly day in the park at the picnic table?
Yes, we'll do that. Well, right now, all we want to do is try to eliminate. I know it's hard because of the sand and the dry, the weeds and everything, all the stickers. We want to try and continue to cut the grass weekly at least. I know we need to sign some forms. I'll get those to you as soon as I can. But yeah, we want to try and fix up that baseball field. We grew up on baseball from where we're from. We grew up on baseball, so it's kind of big to us. But I mean, I know my neighbor here as well wants to help out as well. We'll cut the grass with we'll use our own tools to help clean up that area. That's okay.
And I think we do have some bases, at least stored, so that may help out some too. And then we can get a list of actually what is needed further, and we can see whether we can come up with something to at least get things moving and maybe get some
Right.
games going.
I will
Even
tell
if it's
you-
just for the families that, here around here, it'll be fine.
I will tell you, Tom, that even though those items, the bases and the T-ball and all that was inventoried back in 2016, we don't know where they went. I had Chris and Priscilla check the maintenance yard. Those items have vaporized.
Oh,
A great deal of stuff that was on that inventory is no longer around, and I can't speak to where it went. I think it was after I was out of office, things kind of went haywire. We've not located them. We've not located them yet.
so then Ashley, could you come up with a list that would be probably the minimum that would be necessary to get, the field where we could actually conduct a game?
We need to discuss that, and there are several different sizes of ball fields.
Right.
I would suggest we start with a little league ball field. I think because the diamond, we can extend the diamond to a larger ball field. If we get movable bases, we can set it up for either a little league,
Right.
which would allow us, to have other little league teams come in. But at the same time, we could have a larger ball field for the adults to play on.
Right. That's what my boyfriend had mentioned while we were there as well, that they have those bases that you can remove from the ground for when we need to put them up and for adjusting the size as well.
Yeah.
Probably what we need to keep them safe also,
Go
to
ahead.
keep them
Right.
from disappearing.
Yes.
Yeah,
being
you don't want to
painted.
leave them out there. Right.
Did graffiti on them.
Yeah.
So I did have a question for Ashley. We have a tractor. The city owns a tractor, and it has a bucket on the front. I think we have a fork attachment, but my thought was, your entire ball field, a proper ball field, has a dirt area and a grassy area.
Right.
I don't know what the cost would be on the dirt. My thought was that I'm sure Priscilla would love to get out there in that ball field with that tractor and do some prep work.
You know
It's a
she
stress
would.
It's a stress reliever for her.
Exactly.
But my point is, we have some resources that available to us to help with that. What we would need to determine is, does she need to excavate it down 3 inches, 6 inches? I mean, how deep are we talking? And then translate that into the amount of dirt, the proper soil that we would need, and figure out what that cost is. And I am of the mind that we don't have the generations it's going to take for nature to eliminate the sticker burrs. I have a feeling, at least on the infield side of it, that we probably would have to lay some sod to control that. That's just kind of
Yeah.
my thought.
I think that would be a good idea as well. What, like over here at our house, what we wanted to do was to completely remove all the grass that we have and just start fresh with the same exact idea. So maybe that would help for the infield on the baseball field as well.
Well, the baselines actually, they have an attachment that you can use with a tractor or a gator that is called a baseline rake. We actually have good soil for the baselines. You want it to be sandy and fairly soft.
Right.
And I think, and this is just my opinion, if we could spread compost over the infield, that will go a long way towards eliminating the sandburrs. Sandburrs don't like well fertilized ground, and the compost will allow the grass to grow better. Buying sod for an area that large would be a substantial investment.
Well, it would be. And then another option that we might be able to investigate would be the, I don't know what they call it. It's a hydro spray seeded thing that they use like along highways and stuff. In developments, when they're finishing up, they just cover, it's a green liquid stuff that they spray.
Yeah, that's grass seed with some fertilizer in it.
Right. I'm just wondering if that might be a quick solution and more cost effective than sod. Sod is labor intensive and very costly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
want
what
to use,
I don't know what hydro mulch costs, so I have no idea.
yeah, you don't want to use Bermuda because then you have chiggers like crazy.
That's why the ball players wear those high socks.
And they don't stop chiggers.
Actually, I think Bermuda is one of the grasses they recommend for ball fields this
Yes,
out.
that's what I was going to say. That's what's usually used on the baseball field.
Yeah, I know, but you want to be scratching all of the game.
Well, we should check into that liquid stuff that Mickey's talking about that they spray on the sides of the roads and
Well,
stuff.
I'm looking it up right now, and just, a cursory search says homeowners can expect to pay between $500 and $4,000, or an average of $1,000 for hydro seeding a typical 5,000 to 10,000 square foot lawn. It averages between 6 cents to 20 cents per square foot, or $2,000 to $4,000 per acre.
Well, how big's a baseball field?
I don't know, Ashley.
Whoa.
How big is a baseball field?
I really do not know the answer to that question.
Okay,
Let me see.
Dr. Google coming up.
Of course, it'll probably
Well,
just depend
the-
on what size we're gonna go for as well.
The infield, yeah, you wanna,
Okay. Little League is estimated total turf area is 40,000 square feet.
well, I think that's the whole field, but not the infield. I don't think
Exactly.
you'd,
Yeah.
yeah,
Infield is a diamond with 60 feet
yeah.
between bases.
Well, that's
Mm.
the pitch distance for Little League is 46 feet, for high school 60.5, and official rules for MLB and college is 60.5. At least that's what Dr. Google says.
Uh, yeah, so a Little League field would be 3,600 square feet.
That would
infield.
be affordable, yeah.
I do got a question. As fundraising goes, what can we do and what can we not do?
We
So,
don't have any rules at all on
Real-
fundraising.
no,
So if
we-
I were to go sit at the Dollar General with the bake sale or something, they would be okay, right?
So here, let me kind of give you my view of 101 on fundraising. The city does accept donations, whether that be in-kind donations, material items, or cash. And receipts are available to be provided if somebody wants a receipt for a donation. As if this came up on another project that we're working on, a social thing that we were working on, and there was some discussion about setting up a 501c3, and I said, no, you don't have to do any of that. You know, if my recommendation is, if you are collecting cash, if you're wanting to do a bake sale, that would be you functioning on your own. The proceeds from that, you could donate to the city. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Well, at least I have a couple ideas in mind then.
And of course, we can, call for donations from citizens. I mean, if anybody wants to donate, we have regular donors to the Parks Department and also the Animal Control. There's some people who just do regular donations on a, fairly frequent basis. So that is also an option. And perhaps in a newsletter, I'll make a notation about this, but we could certainly mention that. There may be people who want to help out and would be willing to do that. The other side of that, Ashley, is that from a budgeting perspective, we allocate funds to various departments each year during our budget cycle. So the next budget planning will begin probably around the May timeframe. So that would be when we would want to know what projects we want to put in place, what are the cost estimates, and they're strictly estimates that we anticipate to spend on those various items, and then the city would fund for those.
Okay. Well, for the list on what we might need for the field, I will try to get that by Saturday as well.
Okay, sounds good. So do we have any more discussion on agenda item 8?
Not I.
If not, I'll move on to 9 and we'll adjourn at 7:05.